Hey friends, Nate Birt here, CEO of Silver Maple Strategies. So, hey, if you're considering the Growth Foundation's retainer, which is our most popular client package, it is understandable that you may have questions, concerns, reservations. And let me reassure you, that is why we're putting together this video to walk you through the program and really set your mind at ease. Either, hey, it's a great fit, let's move forward, or let me ask some specific questions to really gauge fit. Or on the other hand, hey, this is not a fit. Let's do something else. And in that case, as my business coach, Ed Gandias, likes to say, we'll part as friends. Okay, so let's talk about cost. So the first question we often get is, how much does this Growth Foundation's retainer cost? It is a fixed fee of $1,500 a month. We typically structure these engagements as 12-month periods. Again, we request a in principle commitment of 12 months. And having said that, it is a month-to-month retainer. If you're not getting value, you shouldn't be working with us. I often tell clients, if you aren't getting value, you should fire us because you don't need us, right? You need to save your money and put it somewhere where you're actually getting some kind of a good return, okay? So $1,500 a month is the fixed fee. Some clients decide they're going to stick around year after year, getting better and better in the service that we offer. In other cases, folks decide they've got what they want, or they've changed their mind, or their direction has changed, and it's no longer a fit. That's okay, right? We want this to work for you. If it doesn't work for you, you should not be working with us. All right, that's number one. Number two, what is included? So let me get back up really quickly and say that at Silver Maple Strategies, we have a framework that we've developed called the Nonprofit Resilience Leadership Model. And we define resilience as nonprofits that are able to thrive no matter what's happening in the external, the outside world. And so what that looks like is that if we focus on three core pillars of resilience, as we define it here at Silver Maple Strategies, then our clients will attain better outcomes relative to their fundraising, relative to their clarity and confidence, relative to their impact they're having in the world. Okay. And so we focus on three core pillars: clarity, morale, and flexibility. And if we can do those things together each month as part of this retainer package, then we're doing our job, right? So let me sort of break down each of those components and tell you exactly how that looks in this engagement. So when we start our engagement, we will kick off with what we call a setup workshop. That's a 3-hour session over Zoom. It is a big investment, and I promise you it is completely worth it because we're going to unpack what is your vision for the organization and your impact. What's working now in terms of your fundraising, your communications, your operations, etc. What's challenging or hard right now? And then we're going to lay out a plan of work to address each of those items in the next 12 months, right? We're doing this month to month, but basically we have to sort of see the elephant in order to break it down into pieces and then start to work on a little bit of those at a time to get momentum quickly so you can feel the results, feel the progress, see the results, and those progress points compound in value over time, okay? So setup workshop number one, that's a one-time engagement. Then to get into the morale piece a bit more, we meet with you each month 3 times. So 2 30-minute coaching sessions and 1 hour-long session where we are going to review what we call your KIP, or Key Indicators of Progress dashboard. I've mentioned my coach Ed before. Ed is the one I found out about the term Key Indicators of Progress from. Basically, this means like, look, when you're working in a nonprofit, when you're doing impact-driven work, there are often not these really immediate tangible metrics, right? You know, if you've applied for a grant before, that you might apply today and then you'll find out in 3 or 6 months whether you were awarded that grant. And there may be other hurdles you have to cross before you get that funding. So we recognize that in this space, you need to both be able to put in the reps, so to speak, to get you closer to your fundraising goals. And you may not get that financial ROI right away. And so what we want to do is say, look, we don't do direct fundraising on behalf of you or our clients, any of our clients. We never promise you even $1 of funding, right? That would be unethical of us. We cannot guarantee that. What we can guarantee is that we will work with you to put into place systems and processes and trainings and resources. We'll work with you on whether you're applying for grants or doing other things like this to give you feedback and insights to help you optimize and move faster and more strategically and more focused with greater clarity. And we do that through these coaching sessions based on the dashboard built from that initial setup workshop. Okay. In the dashboard review, we're going through and saying, how are we doing across all of these areas, right? In fundraising, in communications, in systems, operations. And we've identified specific conversations we're going to have, resources we're going to build for you or with you, um, stories that we're going to help you tell and take the work off of your plate, and then give you those tools to take that to your impact reports or to conferences and events you attend for fundraising purposes or whatever else you can envision. We want to help you make that reality. Okay. That's clarity. And then the last piece is flexibility. So we're actually helping you with your operations internally and how you show up in the world externally. Look, I'll put this on the table. Artificial intelligence is often a tricky issue for many nonprofits because of its impact on people, on communities, on mental health, on the environment. There are real trade-offs, make no mistake, right? Here at Silver Maple Strategies, we are pragmatists. Look, if AI makes sense for you and it doesn't violate your ethics or morals or principles, then we want to help you unlock that, right? Many nonprofits are already experimenting with AI and finding lots of value. We typically work in ChatGPT because it's the platform we've used the longest and we've found is the most easy to get off the ground for a nonprofit with a small team. But if AI is not the fit, then we'll help think about other systems or processes or procedures to put in place to make your lives easier, clearer, and help you move faster, right? Because speed is often a big sticking point for nonprofits that are small and lean and need to make sure they are building financial resilience so that they can have resilient impact with the clients they serve. And so those are the three pillars, right? Clarity, morale, and flexibility. And within that, there is the coaching and resource building for you, the asynchronous communication and support that happens between coaching sessions. Then there is the content. So we're building ghostwritten content, interviewing decision makers in your organization, subject matter experts you trust among your clients, your existing funders, etc. Really helping those executive leaders, decision makers that are already champions of yours, sharing their voices by us interviewing them, building written articles for you to share via your newsletter, via your business development materials, etc. And then helping you, speak to funders and executives that are trying to decide, do we fund your nonprofit or someone else, right? A competitor. So leaving that there, that's what's included in the Growth Foundation's retainer. We also do things like looking for funding opportunities each month and surfacing those to you, things that might not be on your radar. Really helping you find value day after day, even though we're not working together every day on lots of Zoom meetings. Like our goal is to really respect and honor your time and help you continue making progress, right? Keep the momentum going. Okay. Question number 3, how much time is this going to take me and my team? We hear that a lot, especially from executives whose boards are like, look, we need you out there raising money. We don't need you like sitting on a coaching call, right? Our goal is to help people see this more holistically, right? This is not another coaching program. Coaching is certainly an important piece of this. And the whole focus of our program is revenue, right? Your morale as it relates to revenue, your clarity as it relates to revenue, your flexibility as it relates to revenue, so that you can have a bigger impact because the financial piece is a solid foundation. So how much time? Well, the clients that have the best results working with us are typically those that can invest between 2 and 5 hours a week. That's not saying 5 hours on Zoom calls every week, right? I already explained that part. This is 2 to 5 hours of work with us and or work on your own, right? There are going to be times when you assign us homework. Nate or someone else on the team, go research this question and bring us back some recommendations, right? We've researched funder types. We've researched CRMs or systems for organizing your data and prospects to help your fundraising process, to take a look at this giving campaign that's coming up, all of the collateral, right? The news releases, the email marketing, the SMS, text message blasts. Help us really dial this in. Make sure we're actually doing this in a way that's going to help us get the results we want. And doing that, so that's the kind of thing where you'll assign us homework. Then there will be times where we say, hey, you all need to go and have an internal conversation. Like we're happy to facilitate that. And you can also just go and do that meeting or have that conversation or discussion and come back to us with where do you land on that? And that could be a strategic question about do we focus nationally or regionally for this specific program, right? Are we going to talk to funders in our backyard or 5 states away? Are we going to talk to corporations or private foundations or go in a completely different direction? So we are happy to work with you on any of those elements. However, there will be times where we say to you, as a good growth partner to you, this is not something that we as your partner can help you solve. This has to be something you decide. If you need to get board approval or buy-in, then do that. We can be a partner to you in helping and talking through the options that you face. And you'll have to make some of those hard decisions. And so that's where that 2 to 5 hours comes from. It's not just working with us. It's that and any of the extra pieces that you might be doing internally to keep making progress against these goals we've both committed to helping you achieve. Okay, question number 4, how quickly can I start to expect to see results, right? Many clients say, look, like I don't need to it's great that you're doing all this, but if this is going to take me 6 months to see any value, like I'm out, right? I need something in 30 to 90 days, right? Is a typical like time frame our clients come to us and say like, if you can't show me some sort of measurable progress in that window, then it's a hard pass. I get it. So what I would say is our goal is to help you feel and see momentum within the first week, within the first 5 business days, certainly within the first 2 weeks, right? So in that period, we are holding your setup workshop, right? We are building your comprehensive 12-month roadmap, which we call the KIP dashboard. And typically our clients, as they're starting, typically have an urgent opportunity to attend to. And so we are committed to helping you achieve that, right? So I'm not talking about like you have to help us raise $100,000 in 2 weeks, right? That's unrealistic. What is more realistic is to say, hey, we need your help. We've got this, endowment that we've started. We need to develop a strategy so our development person can go out and start actively selling against this plan. We have this financial target. Here's where we're at today. Help us build the plan. And we can help you do that, right? It might be, hey, we need to develop a series of written collateral around this specific opportunity. Like, let's say November is our big month for giving, and we need to get out there to funders, and we really need to rebrand or remessage to really make it crystal clear what we're after and how they can help us. We can do that. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Okay. So we want you to see results quickly within the first week to 2 weeks. Number 5, can I promise a financial return on your investment? The short answer is no. No, we don't guarantee even $1 of fundraising. We are not registered in any state in the United States to do direct fundraising on your behalf. And again, if that's what you need, there are lots of professional certified fundraisers out there, excuse me, that can do that on your behalf. We aren't one of them. A couple of reasons for that. Number 1, our job through this engagement month to month is to build this business development, fundraising skill set, resources, tools in-house for you, right? This is the most important part of your success as a nonprofit is your very existence, right? If there is not revenue in the door, you cannot exist and you have to close the doors. We don't want that for you, and I bet you don't want that for you either. So in order to do that, we don't direct fundraise because we are focused on building the systems, equipping you, supporting you, being a strategy partner to you. Again, not just through coaching, but through the assets that we're building, through the trainings, through the tools, through, brainstorming and facilitation. So again, our job is to be a good growth partner to you. Our job is not just to go out there and raise funding and then leave you hanging for, if you have a conversation, being unprepared to have that discussion and building that long-term partnership. The other reason is that, look, there's a lot of regulation involved in direct fundraising. We would have to register in each and every state. It is a very selfish reason. I'm just being very transparent with you. Is it possible we'll go down that route in the future? Perhaps. But again, our sweet spot as an organization at Silver Maple Strategies is helping you with that holistic wraparound capacity building. We are very happy to refer you to people we trust or have heard about that do direct fundraising and do some of that research for you. That is not a core component of what we do here at Silver Maple Strategies, so I want to be very upfront about that. However, we do say, look, our goal is to deliver at least $200,000 in value in terms of the teachings, trainings, resources, conversations, assets we're building together, campaigns you may be running that we're supporting you on. And I can get into lots of weeds about what that exactly looks like. But again, our job is that if you were to go out in the market, hire these things or try to get these things piecemeal, that would be the sort of aggregate value of all of those kinds of things, like design me this campaign or help me think this process through or help me solve this wicked problem. That's the kind of value that we see stacking and compounding. If we don't deliver $200,000 of measurable value, again, not dollars in the door, but value to you, after that 12-month period, that initial 12 months, we will continue working with you for free until you feel like, until we have reached that point by mutual agreement. So we want you to see the value. If you don't see it, you should fire us. And honestly, as a one leader to another, these things take time, right? Again, we want you to see results very quickly. We want you to see the value, see the results. And again, this is about more than money, although that is critical and that is ultimately the foundation of everything. It is not something we're promising or guaranteeing. We are promising and guaranteeing the value we will add to you and your team. And we'll have fun doing it along the way, which is kind of important in my opinion. Okay. Question number 6. We're almost there. So 2 more questions. Question number 6, what happens if we get off track or off schedule? Look, our clients are extremely busy. Nonprofits often are, and not always, but in many cases are relatively small, lean. They're really good financial stewards in terms of, making every dollar count, making everyone's time count. And so consequently, they can get tied up in activities and conferences and, meeting with funders, things that you have to be doing as a leader. And so consequently, it may be a week or two that goes by. We're going to check in with you every week and make sure we are moving the ball forward. And there may be times when you say, hey, Nate and team, like I cry uncle, like I can't do this right now. Let's revisit in a week. Let's revisit in 2 weeks. We're going to keep working on your behalf, whatever you're doing, right? Looking for those funding opportunities, putting together the resources we've committed to doing, moving that content and storytelling forward at the executive level. And there are times when our clients say, look, the executive ghostwriting, for example, the storytelling piece is great. And what we could use even more right now is a organization-wide workshop or facilitated training on this topic. Or we have this big sticky issue with our board. We need to unpack this internally, so we'll be prepared for that next meeting. Or maybe we need to bring the board in and have them part of the conversation, right? We are happy to do that with you. We have a detailed substitution policy. Every quarter, your deliverables reset, right? So let's say our policy is you get 2 articles each month, so that's 6 articles per quarter. Let's say it is January and the articles we can't deal with that right now. We're going to do, we're going to do the 2 from January, the 2 in February, and the 2 in March. And we want to spread those over just February and March because that's when our team can focus on getting you feedback, making connections for you to do those interviews, etc. Right? No problem. That said, if we get to the end of March and you haven't used those and April 1 comes around, then your deliverables reset. So you're not like bringing all of that in and stacking it on top. It would just be a workflow nightmare for you and for us. But to make sure you're still getting value, what we're saying is even if you decide, hey, we want to pause the content, but we want to facilitate a training instead, happy to do that. And we'll just agree on that, maybe over a Zoom like this, and we'll put it in writing via email, both sign off on it, and we'll be off to the races, right? We really want to make sure you see and feel the value, and we recognize times change, right? We want to be adaptable to meet you where you're at and to really help you get the need and capacity you need in the moment to keep making progress, financially and otherwise. The last question we get is a really easy one, and then I'll wrap up this video. So the last question we often get is, do you have other clients you can share as references to boost my confidence in this process? Or, poke holes in what you've told me. Maybe I'm skeptical. I don't believe what you're telling me. Yes, we do. We have clients who are very happy to talk with you. We encourage them. And again, don't take my word for it. Ask my clients. We encourage them to be brutally honest, right? What's working well, what's hard, or what are you not seeing the results on? And what's it like to work with Nate and the Silver Maple Strategies team? Again, we recognize we're not for everyone. We want this to be an outstanding fit, not just a good or great fit, right? So listen, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video about the Growth Foundations Retainer package. We would love the opportunity to learn more about your goals and to help you. And we only want to do that if there's an extremely strong fit. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. You can reach me at nate@silvermaplestrategies.com or check out the silvermaplestrategies.com website where we are always adding new blogs and articles with answers to your most common questions. And so if you don't find it there, shoot me a note. Happy to help. Have a great day. I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye bye.